Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Moxie Infernape, and this is my team builder and battle for Week 9 of Season 6 of the Major Pokemon League. This week I am playing my goodest of pals, Blue Rogue. He is one of the admins that helps run the league, as well as Greg, I guess, but Greg hasn't done too much this season. But Rogue has really done a lot. Like, I'm technically the commissioner, but he's honestly probably done more than me, so Rogue's been a really big help this season, and honestly a great guy. He's always just got a really positive attitude, and is just such an awesome dude. So definitely check out Rogue. Link will be down below. He gens for people a lot. He's just a super nice dude. He's the best. So we do play Rogue this week, and he's got a very good record. He's 7-1. He was 7-0, but he did lose to Hera. So he's not perfect, not as godly as it may have seemed prior to that loss, but still got a very good record. He's 7-1. I'm 6-2. At this point, I have not yet clinched playoffs. We have 2 more weeks left. If I win this game, then I clinch. Or if Mystic loses, then I would clinch. Or if Nick loses too. Like if any of those 3 happen, any of those 3 events, I win, Nick loses, or Mystic loses, then I clinch a spot. So I mean, I'm probably going to be in the playoffs. I wish I'll be 6-4, and that still will probably be enough, but not totally certain I'll be in. At least going into this game. So I'll just read off Rogue's team, put it on screen. I'll try to make his team relatively quick, just so we can get into the battle. But yeah, Rogue's team, he's got Zygarde 50, Zapdos, Ferrothorn, Volcarona, Nigel, Starmie, Kofagrigus, Mega T-Tar, Toxicroak, Lycanroc, Midday, and Rufflet. The Z users are the ones in gray, the Volcarona, Lycanroc, and Rufflet. So scary team on his end. He just got a lot of big threats. Got a lot of mons with some quad weaknesses, like the Zygarde, the Ferrothorn, the Volcarona. That's 3, T-Tar makes it 4, and then even Toxicroak with Psychic, so he's got 6 Ninetales weak to Steel. So yes, 6 mons with quad weaknesses, and some of them more than others need some kind of weird coverage. Like Zygarde, like you run ice coverage a lot. Volcarona, it makes you want to run rock coverage. You might want to run some fighting coverage for T-Tar. The other 3 not as, or then Ferrothorn honestly with fire coverage. Then Toxicroak and Alolan Ninetales maybe not as much. You need other coverage, but still. He's just got a lot of mons that make you want to bring a lot of coverage and a lot of moves, which makes building Fist pretty tricky. But as this is the second last week of the season, and I'm most likely in playoffs, I'm not taking my full 100% approach. I'm still trying to win, of course, but I'm bringing a slightly more gimmicky way. I mean, it's still a very viable strategy, and honestly, I think this strategy is really good, but not my my most straightforward approach to this game. That's because I think there's a pretty solid chance of playing in the playoffs. So I'm pretty sure both of us didn't really bring our quote-unquote best teams, first teams, I want to say, because I feel like best team just makes this team that I'm bringing sound bad, but really this isn't my first team. I feel like that's the way I put it. There are some sets I thought about and liked in the matchup, but I kind of like them too much. I don't want to bring them yet. I want to save them for the playoffs. So I'm bringing some other stuff, but I feel like I still have a pretty solid squad, so I'll just get into it right now. So I'm going to go through this team, go through these 6 kind of weird order. I'm not starting with the first one, because Feeny was actually the last mon I put in this team. But first off, we got Umbreon here, just a mixed bulk Umbreon with Curse, Beat-Pass, Foul Play, and Moonlight. The reason I got Moonlight instead of Wish is because I feel like I do need heal health in this Umbreon, and I do need my other 3 attacks there. Curse is mainly so I can pass probably into the Lucario or maybe Gliscor. Yes, it's really not for the Lucario though. With Lucario, it's going in this game 20 kills, and I want to get as many kills as possible. Right now, it is at the top of the MVP list, so I would like it to get as many kills as possible so it can stay up there. The overall MPL record of single kills in a season is Azumarill in Season 1 with 26. That was when we had a 16-game season, so if I can beat that in a 10-week season, that would be really impressive and really cool. So if Lucario can get 7 kills in these last 2 weeks, that would be cool, and I would break that record. But yeah, so really Curse mainly meant to pass it into Luke. If he doesn't really have enough breakers left, it has only physical mons, I might just be able to win with Umbreon, just if I get enough Curse up with that. But really the plan is to pass into my Luke. The Spit Affair is so I can lift 2 Hydros from a Spec Starmie if I'm switching in, so if the first one is with the Analytic Boost, and the second one is not, so that's just what that's Spit for, then the rest is in Fizz-Def to take general hits from stuff like Zygarde and T-Tar. But yeah, so going into my Lucario set, so I do the White Herb to counteract the speed loss from Curse. So if I pass 2 Curses into Luke, then it doesn't just get, it gets rid of both speed drops, so if I'm at +2 attack, +2 defense, then it would be at -2 speed, but -2 speed goes away thanks to White Herb, so I'm at neutral speed, and then that should allow me the bulk to set up the agility to get the speed that I need to sweep from there on. If I even need the speed, which I probably will, but if he has a really slow team at that point, I might not. The moveset, Close Combat, Ice Punch, and Crunch, I feel like is all the coverage that I need. That last moveset I was really considering a lot. I was thinking about Crunch or Extreme Speed, and then I went for Crunch just because I thought he's going to want to try to not let me get as many kills with Luke as possible. He's really going to try to limit Luke, so I feel like he's going to bring a bulkier team. Or not necessarily bulkier, but he's going to bring the Kofag, which I think is a pretty good Luke check. He very well could be Colbert too, but he do have some ways of breaking past that Colbert. So hopefully once Lucario comes in, he's not the Colbert anymore. So I think he's going to bring the Kofag just for that Luke. That way he's a pretty good check to that, and try to limit Lucario's kills because his Zygarde is second in the MVP list. So I think he will bring Kofag. So I mean, E-Speed could be helpful for some other stuff if I don't have it the speed boost. But Crunch helps me with Kofag. Also with Starmie, I guess, that too. So, the speed on this is so it can outspeed a T-Tar. A T-Tar that is invested, so once he's at +1, he can outspeed Swallow. That's really what I felt like was the best thing to creep. So, in case you want to bring like a Dragon Dance T-Tar, then that's what the speed is creeping. Next, I guess we can go into Napoleon. So, just max Fizz Def here with the Sugar Berry, Rock, Scald, Ice Beam knockoff. This set, with the defense, I can actually live 2 EQs from a Jolly Mega T-Tar. That's why I do the Shuka there, not why I'm just max, because I feel like I'm going to be needing to take physical hits, and the Shuka Bear can really help me to take a EQ from T-Tar, any ground hit from Zygarde, like a Drill Run from Lycanroc, and just gives me some good physical bulk, and I still have like decent special bulk to take it from like the Ninetales, or like even take any one hit from the Zapdos, which could be helpful, or even from the Starmie. So yeah, just pretty nice moveset here. Really decent moves giving what I need to attack his team. Knockoff is mainly there to hit the Starmie for some decent damage, as well as knock off other items and stuff like Zapdos and Ferrothorn and whatnot. So yeah. Next let's go into Goliath here. It's going to Malcolm. So Toxic Taunt, Roost, EQ. This is a pretty nice stall breaker for stuff like the Ferrothorn, stuff like the Zapdos. If I can outspeed that thing, which I think I will be able to, because he brings pretty slow Zapdoses usually. So the speed on this, so we can outspeed Max Speed, Adamant, Toxicroak. Not really certain what kind of speed he's going to bring on that, but I wanted to maximize my Spadef, or carry as much Spadef as I can, while still carrying a speed that I think is a good number to hit. And the Spadef is so I can switch into the Zapdos, because I think the Spadef just allows me, like, I can switch in and then outspeed and roost off, and then his HPS will be doing half as much. And basically I can just keep roosting off, and he's not doing enough from the Himpower Ices because I'm bulky enough to where he'll be able to break past me, so if I can get up. Then at one point I'll be able to get off a Toxic and still have that HP Ice and just kind of roost from that point. That's basically the idea with this set here. Next we can go into, let's go into Denise the Nihiligo, because Poverty was the last. This is just a dual screens Nihiligo. The reason being to help my Umbreon setup, or to help the Lucario setup, just to provide me more opportunities to do so. The dual screens HP Fire Power Gem pretty much is everything I need, really barring the Zygarde, and then I think really Power Gem hits everything else. It does hit Toxic pretty hard still, even though it does resist Rock, because if he's carrying Dry Skin, then I'm like HP Fire is not super effective. It's like 1.25 power, so like harder than a neutral Himpower Fire, but not as strong as a super effective one would be. But still, it'll do a decent chunk to the Toxic if I need to. But for Zygarde, I'd probably either switch out or just set up the Reflect versus that. Then the speed on this is just enough for Max Speed Tim and Volcarona. And yeah, then I'm carrying the special attack here just enough, or it's a small enough amount that I would get a speed boost in case I do pick up a kill. That way it's just harder for me to check me and stuff like little Ninetales or like Lycanroc that would outspeed normally, or the Starmie too. So yeah, just pretty speedy, but still hits pretty hard and has decent bulk. Then last but not least, we have Scarfini. I was really debating what I wanted in this last slot in the team. I originally had some other stuff, but I feel like Scarfini is actually really nice in this game, as his fairy switchers are not very good. He's got Ferrothorn, and then he's also got like Toxicroak, which is a resistance, and then I think it's, and then Volcarona too. But he really just doesn't have the best Moonblast switch in, so I feel like this is a good Scarfer to bring, and I'm modest, so I can hit pretty hard. I can hopefully 2-K the Zapdos, like a Rock Struck, and might be able to 2-KO, which could be a really nice way to pick that thing off, and helps my Lucario in the late game, so it could be really useful. The moveset here, just Moonblast, Surf, really dual stabs, mainly what I need. Nature's Madness could be helpful for something like the Ferrothorn or the Zapdos, or like the Kofag, and then Trick could be nice to trick, mainly under the Ferrothorn or the Kofag. It'd be great to give them a Scarf, because then they're still really slow, and it's basically useless, and that'd be really nice. And also it'd be nice to get rid of the Kofag's Colbert if that comes, or like I could also break the Colbert with Knockoff on Napoleon, or foul play on Umbreon. And the speed on Feeny, so it's the same speed that Lucario is hitting, so I outspeed that Jolly T-Tar that I mentioned before. So yeah, this is my team right here. Team builder wasn't too long, but yeah, basically plan to try to pass and do Lucario so we can win, or weaken his team down so my Scarfini can clean up late game. But yeah, let's get into the battle. Alright guys, so I'm back with the battle as you can see here. So I'm bringing these 6 that I just went over, which is my Gliscor, Nihilego, Tapu Fini, Umbreon, Empoleon, and Lucario, while Rogue opts to bring the Ferrothorn, Mega Tyranitar, Lycanroc, Midday, Zapdos, Rufflet, surprisingly, and the Zygarde. So no Alola Ninetales, that's kind of good. That means no what's the word? Aurora shenanigans, which is good. No Volcarona, that thing's pretty scary, so it's good not to see some mons. Rufflet could be a little bit scary. I do have Empoleon, which is max Fizz Def, so it's a pretty good switch in. Umbreon isn't a terrible switch in either, and probably Nihilego can take a flying hit too, so I don't feel too under prep for it. I feel like I can still deal with it. But yeah, so my lead was, I think just, what did I lead, honestly, I forget. No, I did lead Gliscor, which I feel like it's a decent lead versus a good amount of his team. So I think I led Gliscor, if I recall correctly, and just to get my Toxic Orb activated too. Yeah, no, I do lead Gliscor, right? So he leads Ferrothorn as I do lead Gliscor, so this is alright for me, as I do have Taunt, partially for this scenario, so I can just taunt him and not allow him to get up any hazards turn once. That's really convenient for me. So I'm just going to taunt and hopefully block some hazard or something, or maybe lead seed. As I just go for the spikes. So no spikes turn 1, which is great for me. The kind of bad news is, though, he does have spikes, which is scary, and I'm not going to be able to keep him taunted all game. So I'm just going to EQ, get off some damage right now, scat a set a bit. And we see some damage. We do a decent chunk, showing he does not appear to be too physically offensive. He does go for the Gyro, which does fair chunk, but not too much, as I will do under half. So he does have lefties, which makes it even more annoying. So I get my Poison Yell to graphics, but kind of weird. I think Rogue was one that, yeah, no, Rogue, he did record this for me. So thank you to Rogue for that, but they're a little weird. It's kind of cool though. I don't know. I've mixed opinions on it. But he's just gonna go for another Gyro. I would go into Ben here in case we did want to go for a power rep, trying to predict me going for Roost there. That was actually a crit on me, so that's kind of funny. It's a little. But now the taunt wears off, so he can get up spike through me, which is bad. I'm just gonna click knockoff. At least get rid of those lefties, so he's not getting back health from that. But he can have some spikes if he wants to. He does go for power up and does miss, which with how the game played out, didn't really come into play. But without some other scenarios could have gone. It could have come into play, so I'll maybe talk about that more later, but just kind of don't worry about that for now. I'm just going to stay and go for my rocks, as, I mean, he's going to get up hazards, I might as well, though, to help me weaken down that Zapdos, and also helps Rufflet, too. So getting rocks I feel like are more important than me than letting him get an additional turn of spikes up. But now I need to pressure this thing as much as I can, so I'm just going to go hard on my Lucario, as nothing else on my team really pressures us too much, at least immediately. I do have Nihilego, which does have Thin Power Fire, but I don't want to switch in case he does go for a Gyro, or even Power Up, that'll still do a lot. And I don't even OHKO from this range, so Lucario is my best bet here. I'm just going to go for the CC. I considered Ice Punching, predicting the Zapdos, but I might be able to go with the Close Combat plus Ice Punch after it takes rocks. I do get a crit, which did not matter. He told me he was Fist Staff, or not Fist Staff, so it didn't really matter at all. So that was good. The one thing that I don't know if I failed to notice when I brought it in, or maybe failed to notice until this happened, but me going for Close Combat, lowering my defense actually will activate my White Herb, so that could be pretty annoying. Might not be the worst thing. I can still pass a person this later, and I will be at -1 speed. But if I can get +2 speed, then I'll be at +1 overall. Then it's not terrible. But I still want. I still didn't really want to lose my White Herb there. I kind of slipped and forgot how that would work. But I still feel like it was my best play though. I think I needed to pressure the Ferrothorn as much as I can and not let it set up a 3rd layer spikes, or even set up rocks if I had that, because I don't have a way of getting rid of hazards this week. I'm not bringing default on anything. So I feel like I still need to pressure the Ferrothorn as much as I can, and CC was still my best play though. So in comes the Zygarde, which is scary. I don't know its speed, and I get very, very OHKO'd. And 1000 Errors is a super safe play for him. He really has no reason not to go for it. I'm just going to go right into Gliscor. If he's not banded, I should be able to live too, but he very well might be banded. So he's going to go right for the arrows and do a lot, showing, yeah, he's banded, so that's bad. I really don't have a good switch on though. Like, I mean, Feeny can switch in and take 1, but I want to keep Feeny healthy. That way, if Lycanroc gets a boost, I can take a +2 with Cell Rock and knock that thing out. But yeah, he does just go for another errors and just pick off Gliscor. I really couldn't make another play. That was the best play I had there, just to sack off Gliscor. But now I can bring in my Scarf Feeny and scare this thing out with a Moonblast. But I mean, he doesn't know yet that I'm Scarf, but even if I'm not, still, Moonblast would be doing a lot to him, and like I can live any one hit from this. So I can still live that arrows. So I'm just gonna grab for the Moonblast, and thankfully with him attacking out Ferrothorn, his team is everything is neutral to Fairy, except for Zygarde. That's super effective, or takes super effective damage. But yeah, so Moonblast is a really safe play for me. I'm just gonna go right for it. As he does go into Zapdos like I thought. It does take some rocks and takes a good chunk from Moonblast, around 35 to 40%, close to 40 I think. So after lefties, this thing might be range of Moonblast, depends on the roll, but I'm gonna go for it. I can still live a T-Bolt or a Discharge. I know I want to keep Feeny healthy, but I think I can get the roll here, and I will be able to outspeed unless if, well no, he's not Scarf, he's all lefty, so I know I'm going to outspeed, and I feel like worst thing, he just clicked Roost, in which case, I mean, he's a little bit healthier than I'll switch into, probably into Nihilego, so that wasn't even terrible for me. So I felt like it was still my best play, just to go for Moonblast, as if he did attack me, then, I mean, Feeny can still live that. And then I can just Moonblast Zapdos, another Zapdos goes down, or it's just out, then something else takes damage, and then Zapdos would go down to the rocks when it comes back in. So I felt like that was my best play. That was the best exchange I could have made there. So in does come the Lycanroc right here. So this thing can live in Moonblast, but I feel like I do just need to get the damage on this. I don't really have anything great to switch in. Maybe the Umbreon, but I don't think I really can afford to do that. And I can still live any one hit, barring its Z move. So I'm gonna make him blow his Z move here, and I'm probably gonna have to black this out or something, because Game Freak or Nintendo is kind of a bitch when it comes to this little animation. I think Rogue did a thing, or is animation just that long? No, okay. For a second I thought Rogue did something in editing this video, so it didn't show up. But no, that the animation's just really long, and like the trainer and Lycanroc just kind of stays there for like a few seconds. Just kind of weird. This animation's really long. Okay, you guys probably can't even see it. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to stay in with my Feeny and get off a lot of damage. This thing's now in range to get out of rocks if it wants to switch out. And I do go down to that Z move there, but that's alright. So I'm going to bring in my Umbreon right here. Now, I could have maybe made another play, which I'll discuss this after the game. But yeah, so my plan is here. You know what, I can actually live. I can live any Stone Edge. I can take that pretty comfortably. And I can Curse, and then I can Baton Pass that into my Lucario. Or maybe even get multiple curses and then pass it into Luke and set up my my agility, and I should be able to actually clean up from this point. So I'm looking good with Luke. So that was the plan, to set up a curse here. So he does go right for the Stone Edge, does hit, which is I mean, it's fine, it's 80%, whatever. So I'm gonna go for the curse, and I mean, that Stone Edge did do a pretty good chunk. I think he was adamant actually, which makes it a little bit scary. Although I think the damage was adamant, but I'm not certain on the calc. I forget. But yeah, I'm still a little over half after the lefties, and I have a +1 now. So my plan here. So let me pause. So here I thought. So my best play might be to click Moonlight or Wish. Well, I have Moonlight, but he doesn't know that. He probably thinks I have Wish. So that he might think, oh, he can heal or try to pass in something else that will be slower than this. So he might be afraid. Although I guess he doesn't. No, he did see the item on my Lucario. For a second I thought he might be fearing me being Scarf, but no, he saw the White Herb activate. So I thought he would want to click Swords Dance right here. That way he could pressure my Umbreon. That way I can't just set up all day in this Lycanroc's face. You know, that way he can pressure me and I don't just get a million curses and pass in something. I guess he might not know I've cap. I mean, even if I didn't have pass, if I got up enough curses, I can still win because all of his mons left are physical. So I thought he would be afraid of that, so I thought he'd click Sword Sense. Turns out he actually did not have Sword Sense. He did have Bulk Up, so that still could have been a viable setup move to go for there. But like still, I thought that was gonna be his best play. So I wanted to maybe click Baton Pass, but if he's at +2 attack and I'm at +1 defense with my Lucario, I don't live that drill run, so I cannot set up in this thing. And I don't have E-Speed to knock this thing out, which would be really helpful. And I didn't need Crunch because he didn't go back, or even bring the Starmie, so Crunch was useless. So I thought my best play overall was actually to click Foul Play here, just to knock this thing out, because I thought he'd want to set up. Turns out he actually didn't set up, he clicked Stone Edge. So that's fine though, I can still take that and knock him out with a Foul Play. But actually gets a crit, and down goes Umbreon. So at first I'm like, oh shit, that's bad. Hopefully that doesn't cost me the game. So I'm thinking I'm going to bring in Luke here. This is kind of a silly play. I mean, I guess I'll talk more after. So I was pretty sure I died to Drill Run. I guess I haven't seen Drill Run yet, so I'm not certain he has it. I don't expect to outspeed this thing. And I don't have Bullet Punch or E-Speed. Maybe I was hoping to fear or to scare him out, but I mean, he dies to rocks anyway, so really didn't have too much reason to switch. And I don't have E-Speed or Bullet Punch, so I go down to the Drill Run. I do have Empoleon, which does still live the hit, but then, like, I mean, he'll break the shotgun, do a decent chunk of damage, but then I'm in range easily of the Zygarde's arrows, so, and at this point, I can't really do anything to come back, because the Drill Run plus the arrows will be able to knock me out. I think with Lucario, I think my thought process was I was healthy enough to live the Drill Run from where it was, but I think I forgot for a second that spikes were up, so I think that was why I went into Luke originally. But that's not such a bad thing, as if I went into Empoleon before Lucario, then Zygarde just comes in and can kill Empoleon, Nihilego, and kill Lucario. So Zygarde could get total 4 kills because it killed the Gliscor earlier. But since I sacked off Luke to Lycanroc, Zygarde only gets 3. So Zygarde just gonna be able to go for arrows twice and knock out Empoleon and Nihilego. I would be able to outspeed this thing with my Nihilego, so I can get off a hit, but my most powerful attack versus this would be Power Gem, which wouldn't do much at all. So I think I bring it in and go for the Reflect or whatever. It doesn't change anything. I still very much die to this Earth or to this 1,000 arrows. So we do go down in a 3-0, which is unfortunate. The good thing about me sacking off Luke to the Lycanroc and not to the Zygarde was that, as I said, Zygarde only got 3 kills this game instead of 4. Well, only 3. That's still a good amount. Also, the Lycanroc got 3. But the reason I say Zygarde only got 3 is because of the MVP race. That's what I'm talking about. So Zygarde's now up to 19 kills. Or no, Zygarde now goes up to 20. But Lucario got 1 kill, killing me first in this game. So Lucario's up to 21. So Lucario is 1 ahead of Zygarde going into this game or after this game. So that is good for me. So you know, I still might have a chance of hopefully beating the Zygarde in the race after next week, which is the last week of the regular season. Let me actually go back and talk about that turn with Umbreon. So, if he did not get the crit, there's a pretty good chance that I do win. So what would happen is I would bring in Empoleon immediately after he if he didn't crit me, I live that, and I went for Foul Play, which easily knocks out the Lycanroc. Then I would probably, even after the lefties, I would still be in, most likely be in range of arrows from Zygarde, and I would assume he'd bring in Zygarde because that would be his most powerful way of hitting my Umbreon. So he can still knock me out with that arrows, but he'd still have my Shotgun Empoleon at that point. And then if he knew I was Shotgun and went into T-Tar on my Ice Beam, then he would have had a chance. Then if he went to T-Tar, then I would have done probably sacked off. Probably at that point, I want to keep my Shotgun on Empoleon because it's the only way of beating the Zygarde. So I would switch out. Then there is some other mind games and other scenarios that play out from there. So and a lot of things that can branch off. So I'm not going to get too into that. There's a pretty good chance that I do win if he does not crit me, which does blow. But if he did predict my Shotgun and play around that, he definitely had a chance of still winning. But now what I should have done when Feeney went down to Lycanroc, instead of bringing Empoleon, what I should have done instead of bring in Empoleon then to take the hit from the Lycanroc and then knock out the Lycanroc. And then he brings in Zygarde to check me, and then I sack Empoleon to that. Then I bring in my Nihilego to set up the Reflect, sack that thing off to the arrows. Then I can bring in Umbreon, Curse, and then I mean, I'd probably just win with Umbreon, or just what I would do is Curse, and then once you got enough curses, I could pass into Luke, and then Luke could Agility. Once there would be enough curses and the screen up, I could Agility and then take that hit from Zygarde and be able to win. So that is unfortunate that it turned out like that and got the crit. But also it did misplay a little bit. I should have gone and pulled it on instead of Umbreon. But you know, it was still a good game, and this doesn't matter too much. I'm 6-3 now. But the good news is Mystic lost, so that means I'm now locked in the playoffs. I have clinched a spot, which is great. With Rogue running being now 8-1 and I am at 6-3, I can no longer get the 1 seed, which is unfortunate. I didn't want Rogue thinking he's better than me, because we can't let that happen. But now he probably does think he's better than me, so that's not good. But I can get the 2 seed or 3 seed or even the 4 seed if I do slip enough. But I'm still locked in the playoffs, so that's good. Next week I do actually play Mystic, the guy who could have passed me. He can no longer pass me because he lost. He's now 4-5, and I still want to win that game just to get as high of a seed as possible. And Lucario, if it gets 6 kills next week, will break the MVP record, or the kill record in a single season. So I'm hoping to get 6 kills with Luke next week. I've already done the battle with Mystic, so like I'm not even like spoiling like any like of my plans or anything, so it's fine. But yeah, that'll go up next Friday. I hope you guys are excited for that. And then playoffs, either the following week or maybe the week after. We might take a break. I'm not sure. I'll talk about that in next week's video. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. Peace out.